The TVS Apache RTR 164 volts has been a venturing stone into the Apache family, and regardless of its significance, the bicycle got just a solitary real facelift in its decade-long spell. Cheerfully, the Hauser-based producer has at last given the Apache RTR 160 the truly necessary, exhaustive refresh it merits. Styling from the RTR 200. The RTR 160 has gotten a couple of corrective updates since its first dispatch, over 10 years back, yet the bicycle has never been appropriately refreshed. This new form changes that pattern. With the general styling intensely propelled from the RTR 200, it includes a comparative tank, front light, tail light, instrumentation and even turn pointers. The RTR 160 additionally includes a comparative shotgun debilitate plan and a LED taillight, as observed on the RTR 200. Be that as it may, the RTR 160 features an alternate fixate port and rides on contrastingly outlined composite wheels. It is accessible in 3 hues: racing red, metallic blue, and night black. By and large, the RTR 160 is an attractive machine, on account of the acquired bodywork, yet we wish it had a greater amount of an individual outline. More grounded execution. The new bicycle's 159.7cc motor gets a major refresh and highlights another 4-valve head and an additional cooling for better warmth administration. This makes it the main bicycle in the section, separated from the new Pulsar NS 160, to offer these highlights. This engine now makes 16.8 horsepower on the fuel-infused display, 16.5 horsepower on the carburetor model, and 14.8 Nm of torque on the 2 models, which is a conventional increment from the more established bicycle's 15.1 horsepower and 13 Nm of torque. To place it into point of view, these are currently the main figures in the 160cc fragment, up there with the 16.6 horsepower/15.5 Nm Apache RTR 180. It's likewise worth specifying that the new motor is incomprehensibly smoother and more refined than the old one. While this has brought about lost the crude idea of the old RTR, it conveys another development to the bicycle which will unquestionably be valued by a more extensive gathering of people. Transmission obligations keep on being taken care of by a 5-speed gearbox, and its curb weight sits at 143 kg for the drum variation and 145 kg for the circle display. More agreeable. Dissimilar to the Apache RTR 200, which has a marginally energetic riding position attributable to the clasp on handlebars, the RTR 160 now includes a customary handlebar for a more happy-with riding position. This makes it the primary RTR to include a handlebar rather than cut-ons. The new bicycle likewise includes a more drawn-out single-piece situate, not at all like the split seats seen on its 200cc kin. These outcome in the bicycle being more agreeable. However, acceptably raised set foot pegs guarantee that the position is as yet captivating for the rider. Better prepared. RTR 160 is extensively preferable prepared over the model it replaces. First off, the bicycle now accompanies the completely computerized instrument group from the RTR 200 that shows an assortment of data. Also, the RTR 160 utilizations a 4-valve head and oil cooling, this time around. The new edge is likewise acquired from the RTR 200, and it has supplied the Apache RTR 160 with enhanced and more form taking care of contact. Because of the new edge, the bicycle gets a monoshock suspension out of the blue, sourced from Showa, while the front highlights a Showa adaptive fork of 33 mm breadth. Also, unfortunately, ABS isn't on offer, as is valid for each other exposed bicycle right now in this section, yet the new Hornet 160R is expected to get it soon. By and by, the greater part of this for an extra Rs 2,775 over the more established RTR 160 doesn't appear like a terrible arrangement, isn't that right? Rivalry check. The RTR 160 used to be situated at the lower end of the premium 160 portion, equaling bicycles like the Pulsar 150. Be that as it may, with this refresh it is currently all the more an immediate contender to the new Honda X-Blade. It likewise comes nearer to machines like the Gixxer, Pulsar NS 160 and DEF Z5 regarding details, and the cost mirrors this. The Bass RTR costs Rs 81,490, which is at standard with the above opponents. Deciding on the backplate variation, which accompanies a bigger 130 area tire, takes the cost up to Rs 84,490, and the range-topping fuel-infused variation is the most costly bicycle in the portion at Rs 89,990, all costs ex showroom Delhi. After our first ride involvement, we're persuaded that the RTR 164 volts is a very amazing machine, yet it likewise happens to be a standout amongst the most costly bicycles in the fragment. Is that enough for it to be the new king of the 160cc section? Just a legitimate examination survey will affirm that.